Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Core CPI data came out here a bit higher than expected, and that led to a significant reaction here in the market. A fast outside day reversal, big time rejection of the previous session's high, and this thing blew all the way through the previous session's low to become a bearish outside day, and it did so in mere minutes after the release of the report here. So a very strong reaction here. Another day where the big selling pressure right now outpaces any of the strength we had seen prior to that, and this is at a point here where it's kind of a lower high type of area. It's around the prior FOMC key levels here, and also right into that composite VWAP. So a very strong reaction. This would suggest further weakness throughout much of the day, perhaps throughout much of the morning. That could then lead to range-bound action to finish the day. So sideways with a downward bias as this thing continues to heat up in range. Already 152% of ADR. Whenever you're at 150 plus so quickly, so early in the day, the tendency would be to continue to quietly expand that range. We could end the day at plus 200% of ADR if this thing continues to heat up. So again, the other thing we mentioned yesterday is if we see a failure to hold the previous week's high, it opens up a return to the previous week's midpoint. So 39.75-ish will be about that midpoint, 39.77, somewhere in that zone, as the previous week's mid, especially if price can't get back above 4,100 here fairly soon. So right now showing quite a bit of weakness here, which could continue to be the case throughout much of the day. If you take a look at the NQ, similar price action. Look at this rejection on that high right there, outside reversal. Again, it was way up here near highs prior to the report. After the report, it shot up for 1 second and then dropped, and minutes later we were already at an outside day. So a massive reaction very quickly. It also happened right at the previous month's midpoint. That level right there, previous month's midpoint, and it's seen a rejection there and falling back out of the pivot range again. This type of reaction up here could lead to a return on a swing basis back toward recent lows, but on a one-day basis, again, the expectation is perhaps that we find some range at the lows and perhaps digest this recent price action with a downward bias. Taking a look at crude oil, you'll notice crude oil here bouncing back above the 86s. Here's the 86 level right there, previous year's high, previous month's low, and price dropped all the way to the 81.20. Extreme reversal back above major support, and now this is 2 days here trading above that level. But keep in mind, we're not seeing a push through the previous month's close price just yet. Once that happens, you start to open up the previous month's midpoint, which is that 92 target we talked about, and in the most bullish scenario, you come up here and retrade back toward the high. But right now, the key level continues to be that 86 level. Any pullback into that zone, you want to see bulls defend for a continuation higher. A day like that could go a long way toward the next swing high. So again, if we were to drop, shake out, and then find some sort of rejection low, that could provide a very nice continuation back toward 92 and perhaps beyond. Taking a look at Bitcoin, this one's down 3.5% right now. This is something we talked about in the previous session here in our trading room, is that we had 2 big days up very quickly, and when you've had those combination of days, the next day tends to be kind of a doji-like day, something like this, and then you see a pullback. And you know, we've seen earlier in the year when we've had a couple of strong days back to back, doji and pullback. Here's a couple of strong days, doji then pullback. So we haven't really seen 2 strong days in a row in this market. We've seen a few up days in a row, but back-to-back days, especially following a big squeeze, those haven't really been maintained. So right now, to see a failed new high develop here, it's on route here to becoming a bearish outside day, We're also seeing a drop off the 55 PIMA as it did last time. All of this again could be leading to another push back down. So keeping an eye on the previous month's midpoint. Failure to get back above that suggests a return back toward lows. And if we take a look here at ETH futures, these right now down as well. Not quite an outside day, but a very aggressive day here to the downside at the moment, with price pushing below the previous session's low. This one has a little bit more bullish lean to it, given the fact that it's still above that 1400 level, still above the 1300 CLVN. While this could be a bit of a head and shoulder type of pattern that's developing, that could mean we may return back for a big time test at 1400. But so far, holding that edge and remaining above that zone suggests, again, that this one is outperforming Bitcoin at this moment. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.